I'm officially endorsing Senator Bernie Sanders as the Democratic nominee for president. And I want to take a moment to really make my case for why I'm endorsing him. I want to start off by saying that you can really learn a lot about a person based on who inspires them. And when I came across this video of Bernie Sanders reciting a speech by Eugene Debs from the early 1900s, it really spoke to me. So he did a documentary on Eugene Debs in 1979, and here he is reciting Debs's presidential speech. He was running for president. Take a look.
It has taught me how to serve, a lesson to me of priceless value. It has taught me the ecstasy in the handclasp of a comrade. It has enabled me to hold high communion with you and made it possible for me to take my place side by side with you in the great struggle for the better day. To multiply myself over and over again, to thrill with a fresh-born manhood, to feel life truly worthwhile, to open new avenues of vision, to spread out glorious vistas, to know that I am kin to all that throbs, to be class conscious, and to realize that regardless of nationality, race, creed, color, or sex, every man, every woman who toils, who renders useful service, every member of the working class without exception, is my comrade, my brother and sister. And that to serve them in their cause is the highest duty of my life.
So Bernie Sanders and his selflessness is something that really speaks to me because he's been principled. He's been fighting for those who are powerless for his entire career. That's him in 1979 reciting a speech from Eugene Debs. And it communicates to me that as early as the 1970s, he believed in fighting for the powerless, and that means the world to me, right? His record means a lot. And so let's talk a little bit about his record. He's always been consistent in fighting for workers and the disenfranchised. His record is clear, he's never deviated from the message, and I want to provide some evidence of that. Take a look.
At a time when the wealthiest people of this country have seen a tremendous increase in their income, while at the same time the standard of living of working people and poor people has declined, I will be damned if I will vote for a proposal which will stick it to the middle class and the working people. And Mr. Speaker, I've got a problem. I've got a problem with a president and a Congress which allows 5 million children to go hungry, 2 million people to sleep out on the streets, cities to become breeding grounds for drugs and violence. And they say, we're getting tough on crime. If you want to get tough on crime, let's deal with the causes of crime. Let's demand that every man, woman, and child in this country have a decent opportunity and a decent standard of living. Let's not keep putting poor people into jail and disproportionately punishing blacks.
And while he has consistently fought for injustices domestically, he also continues to fight for injustices worldwide. In fact, he has been the only candidate who has spoken out against the imprisonment of Lula da Silva in Brazil. He is a political prisoner, and luckily recently he was released. There was a crooked justice minister who imprisoned him, so Jair Bolsonaro, a fascist, could be elected in Brazil. And after Lula was released, Bernie Sanders did put out a statement in support of Lula. He said, quote, "As president, Lula has done more than anyone to lower poverty in Brazil and to stand up for workers. I am delighted that he has been released from jail, something that never should have happened in the first place." And Lula actually responded to him saying, "Thank you for your solidarity. You have always been my candidate for the US presidency, and I hope Democrats have the wisdom to nominate a candidate with your worldview. I hope American workers will make you US president." And he was also correct in speaking out against the military coup that happened in Bolivia recently. He has spoken out against what has happened to the Kashmiris and the provocations by Modi in India as a result of what's happening to the Kashmiris. And then finally, going back to domestic politics, people make this ridiculous argument that Bernie Sanders hasn't accomplished anything. What has he accomplished? He has accomplished a strong movement within the Democratic Party. He has accomplished the ability to actually, in a very legitimate way, reach across the aisle and appeal to people who might have a different ideology, but who understand how this economic system is rigged against them. And I think that that is powerful. And I want to talk a little bit about someone who endorsed him recently, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who never even considered running for Congress until someone like Bernie Sanders inspired her. And here's what she said recently to NPR in regard to her endorsement of Sanders. One of the things that's so important about what Senator Sanders is talking about and what this campaign is about is that it's far larger than a presidential campaign. This is about really creating a mass movement, a multiracial mass movement of working class Americans to guarantee healthcare, housing, and education as rights for all, to draw back our endless wars and to promote an agenda of peace and prosperity abroad, and to really address some of the systemic issues that are underlying a lot of the problems and inequalities in our economy today. He also has fought for things when it was unpopular to do so. Back in the early 1990s, he fought for gay rights when it was not a popular thing to do. Watch.
The same people that would vote to cut defense $177 billion, the same ones that would put homos in the military, the same ones that would not fund BRAC, the same ones that would not clear up. No, I will not. Sit down, you socialist.
Now, my ears may have been playing a trick on me, but I thought I heard the gentleman a moment ago say something, quote unquote, about homos in the military. Was I right in hearing that expression?
Absolutely. Putting homosexuals in the military.
You said something about homos in the military. Was the gentleman referring to the many thousands and thousands of gay people who have put their lives on the line in countless wars defending this country? Was that the group of people that the gentleman was referring to?
I'm talking about the military. People in the military do not support.
That's not what we were talking about. You used the word homos in the military. You have insulted thousands of men and women who have put their lives on the line.
I'm talking about you and liberals like you that.
I trust Bernie Sanders. I believe in what he's fighting for, and I do believe that big structural change, systemic change is something that's possible with his leadership. And as a result, I am honored to endorse Senator Bernie Sanders as our next president of the United States.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.